True Crime with Eve.
Disclaimer, disclaimer, read all about it.
Hey everyone, it's your girl True Crime with Eve. We are going to discuss the Michael Vaughan case Twitter space from December 19th, 2021, where we review the timelines that were discussed at this point in time. This is the final video of the series. Put your comments below if you're watching the replay, and if you're in chat, ask away. And go ahead and hit that thumbs up for your girl Eve. And remember, the reason for this is to go over what was said at the time. Maybe there is a connection somewhere as to why the four suspects are named the four suspects.
Let's get into it.
Most of the details are very outdated. This is just to get the recording from December 19th out for you to do your own observing. Correct information that has been proven will be noted.
Records is on, it's not nice. Sorry if I'm sounding rude or something. I'm not trying to sound rude. I'm just saying, if anybody's out there, I love you guys too. Just do the research.
It's out there. It's there. We're not hiding anything. Yes, law enforcement has been, very careful with what they're releasing because it is an ongoing investigation. I don't know should I tattoo that on my forehead until Michael comes home and then I'll get it covered up, like ongoing investigation across my forehead? Should that be a thing? I know, no face tattoos. I promised. Tyler's shaking his head at me. I'm sorry, but Legacy, thank you so much. You weren't being rude, and that is the truth. Like there is information out there. There has been information. The Fruitland Police Department. You can watch. There's many interviews. They've tried to do public updates on the Facebook page. The information is out there, and it hasn't changed.
It's as simple as searching for that. Good night, guys. I just needed to say something because I was about to explode. So sorry, Crystal. This space has been amazing. Great space, really.
Good night, Legacy. It was nice to hear from you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Nick, go ahead.
Okay, so I think from most people in the community know that my favorite place is Switzerland, and I'm definitely not somebody who typically plays devil advocate about anything, but the only thing I would say, and I'm exhausted right now, would suggest is, I mean, obviously you have this beautiful community that you have shared your story with, you have spent hours going through everything with, and they're going to know you, they're going to know the story the best. I think, when I was going to ask, and I'm going to admit this, about phone records earlier, not because I'm speculating at you or Tyler or somebody within the family, but I think sometimes it's an important thing to remember, exactly like what you just said, of it's almost impossible for you to relive that moment by moment in a frantic state of mind. I mean, I wouldn't be able to go through that and tell you when I made a phone call, who called me, where I was in what moment. I mean, I think that's exactly the point, though, is that if you have this community that you're very, very close with and you're comfortable with and you trust, I would consider and I would be open to, not for you to do the work because I'm sure you're exhausted, but if it can help actually create like a factual timeline for the people you have been working very closely with, even the smallest thing. I mean, and that's why we're doing this, and it's why you're doing it over and over, is because that one little detail, even you said today, that there's a new neighbor that said something today, which does change the timeline. And it could be anything. So if you have people that you trust and you're comfortable with and you don't feel like are judging or speculating towards you, I would hand it over, because the police do miss things. I mean, it's why this community exists to begin with. That's all I have to say. And please, I'm not trying to be rude about it. I think that it is important.
Jessica, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
So I just want to flip the script for a moment, because there's been a lot of really intense questions coming at the two of you, and I want you to actually ask a question of us, and I want to know, in the coming days, what are things that you actually could use help with? Obviously just keeping the word out there, spreading pictures, missing posters, all of that, but also what else could we do to help you? Emailing about an Amber Alert. I just want to hear it straight from you, what you would like of us.
Well, you said it. Keeping Michael's story out there, trying to get more national coverage.
Amber Alert. I just want to hear it straight from you, what you would like of us.
Well, you said it. Keeping Michael's story out there, trying to get more national coverage. Like I said, I'm going to personally email all of these people myself, and I honestly I can't tell you what we need, because the one thing that there's one thing in this world that we need, and I'm sorry it's hard to focus on anything else other than Michael. That's so talking about Michael, trying to get other people to talk about Michael so more people are aware. Yes, the Amber Alert. That seems like an uphill battle, but I'm willing to go to bat for it. But right now, everybody keeps saying you're exhausted. Yes, I'm fucking exhausted. I'm fucking tired. But I gotta keep going every day, and I'm not 100%. So every little thing that everyone's doing, continuing to share Michael's story, doing these spaces to, clear up the speculation, stop the damn speculation. Jesus Christ, those are things. No matter what, there's always going to be speculation. It's inevitable. We're humans. We have free will. That's who we are. But when there is factual information out there, and it just keeps getting spun 10 different ways, it feels redundant. Like, really, you could spend your time and energy following the facts, doing your research, and helping. Because, and I understand that, people think outside the box. I understand that aspect of it. But when you ask the same damn question 20 fucking times, it's been answered, why don't we beat that dead horse a couple more times? So, I honestly...
What is something that I have gotten?
Right. We're trying to be as open and honest with everything we possibly can be without jeopardizing Michael's case.
Well, I just want to say real quick, I have found you to be nothing but open and honest, and just your willingness to be interrogated by complete strangers. I think that should be really obvious, that you just want to talk. And oh, my dog is barking. I'm so sorry. But I also just want to say, I know your mind must be all over the place, and like you said, you're just tired and worn out. And if there's anything until we find him that we can do, just please let us know. Even if it's just hey, can you please tweet this today or make a phone call? Just know we're here for you, and we appreciate you.
I really appreciate that so much. We both do very much, guys. Thank you.
Mrs. Claus, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
Hi. Today there was an Amber Alert in Texas for a 14-year-old girl whose abductor is unknown, and there is no vehicle, an unknown vehicle. Law enforcement believes that she was abducted, and I'm going to go back to Idaho and say the blanket email that they sent to those of us who sent our first complaint out
Is a bunch of horse shit.
right. It's not so many words. However, it's fresh. A fresh alert happened today. They're telling us that Idaho is telling us it's required to have a confirmed abduction, and it is not. And of course, we all know that their own guidelines say that these are the suggested. So I've already sent the email to Idaho again, and courtesy copied the whole slew of folks up the chain, up to the national coordinator, to say, look, guys, this is not a requirement. By your own guidelines, suggested, and Texas is doing it. Why can't Michael please issue one? Please, please, please.
Tennessee did it.
Yes.
And, well, we talked last night about the one, but I can't remember, Crystal, did they knew who her abductor was, or possibly, but still issued an Amber Alert 72 hours after she had been missing.
Yeah, they got a passable car description, and then that's when they ended up issuing the Amber Alert 72 hours later, but yet told us they can't use one after 12 hours.
Right, exactly. Because these are criteria. This is the guidelines. And now that they do, believe that Michael is abducted, and, he was placed in NCMEC, or did I say that right?
Yes.
NPIC. Within 2 hours? Within 2 hours. And he was in, those code red alerts were issued. They tried to get an Amber Alert issued, and it was denied. Because they couldn't definitely say that Michael had been abducted, which is fucking horseshit, because everybody had been, I keep saying that, sorry.
Whatever.
The entire community had searched. All the police, the forces, everything that was going on, and there was no sign of Michael. But because they couldn't definitively say that, yes, Michael has been abducted, they would not issue an Amber Alert, which is bullshit.
Right.
So I appreciate you for doing that. Thank you. And yes.
Please go ahead, for everybody else listening in, if you've sent an email before, send another one. It won't hurt. It can't hurt. I don't know if it'll help, but it can't hurt.
Right.
I'm off. Bye.
Thank you. Mama Stuffy Stuff, go ahead.
Hi again, guys. Hey, number one, Nick was amazing and right on with everything she said. The Nerdberg Mafia group, or however they want to be referred to, has nothing but good intentions to help you. And they have amazing resources and amazing results. That being said, you're dealing with a state, and I sent a link out to you, Crystal, I think, and someone else, I tweeted it, with their Idaho, their 2021 and 2020 listing of the disgusting multitude of teenagers who have gone missing and there's been no Amber Alerts. It was just that grouping, and it had to have been 15 or more kids just this year, and there was no Amber Alerts issued. And you look at the tabs for the other groups there. I mean, there's a 37-year-old woman who went missing in October, and there's no Amber Alert, but it was clear that she was, abducted or suspicious circumstances. So, I'm saying this because it's not public knowledge. Their guidelines are suggestions, and the fact that they still have not issued an Amber Alert from Michael is so incredibly fishy and suspicious. There's other cases throughout the United States where kids have been missing for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or longer. And they've still issued a silver alert if there's a mental, medication issue, or Amber Alerts. So if they want to keep going back on the 12-hour time frame, that is, to use your words, a bucket of
horse poop.
Dually of horse shit. So I think the best thing that you can do, and I said this the other night when we were talking, is politely and respectfully make them very uncomfortable with your presence and everyone's emails. And I think that somebody just said, what can I do? I'm not there. I can't be there. Well, you know what? Each and every one of us can reach out to our state representatives, our senators, our governors, and say something about Michael and say this is a national emergency, because we already know it's a national emergency.
Right.
And it has not been publicized until until Gabby Petito. She opened the damn door, thank God. So I would encourage everyone on this call tonight, and anybody else who listens to the recording hereafter, reach out to your state and local, your attorney general, your governor, your DA, your representative, your senator. If I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. And then I would encourage you to reach out to Idaho's representatives and their senator and their AG and deputy AG. I believe me and another couple of people have tweeted her email and her picture. And Michael, at this point, he represents every one of our children, because they have not been respected, they have not been protected, they have not been fought for. And it is until now that we have these spaces, we have Twitter, social media, and an awakening by the ever beautiful butterfly of Gabby Petito that we finally are getting news media coverage on this. And we all know about all the other things that fall into this: human trafficking, whatever it's called. I don't want to go there. But you all should send those emails and make those phone calls to your local governments, your state representatives, all the way up, and to Idaho, to bombard them, to, as I like to say, politely make them uncomfortable until they have no other choice other than to do something more than what they're doing. So sorry,
I think that's absolutely, it's absolutely amazing. I completely agree with that. There is a response to how people that are, far, that can help. I think that is an amazing idea.
Representatives in the states where shit is backwards can, lean on
Idaho would be like, hey, what the hell's wrong with you? Why are all my citizens, what's going on up there? What's going on? I think that's a great idea. I would, you second that, baby? Everybody everybody, wherever you are, if you can email your representatives and, get Michael's face in front of them, maybe it will, politely make them uncomfortable. I would rather say light a fire under their damn ass, but politely uncomfortable works.
100%, and that's the only way in history that change has been made, and we want to do it, respectfully, but we want to be a force that they can't ignore. And Michael is the focus on this, but it is a national emergency, and it is outrageous when you look at every state, the number of kids who go missing. It is literally fucking disgusting. And it's covered up, and it's been covered up, and it's not been reported on, and now it needs to be front and center media every damn day. And the only way that's going to happen is, like the Sporty Helper said in her post weeks ago, which I wish I could reference specifically, but it was something about we're each a raindrop or a drop of water, but together we're an ocean. And so we have to act as an ocean. And so that's why I say you have to reach out to your local district attorney. You got to then go up above that, which would be going to your AG, your deputy AG, your governor, and then you go to your the president in all communication. And you just have a simple email and you send it out, and it brings national attention. That is what this crisis needs. And I will stop talking and go back to making my dog food. Nicole, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Hi. I know it's late, but I'm going to try to be quick. And I made some notes because sometimes my memory is bad and I'm all over the place. First of all, I'd like to, I don't understand where the whole idea, I don't understand this whole speculation. And I mean, I don't even understand where it's coming from as far as the accusation. Because I asked some questions on his faces last night, and they were coming straight from my heart because I want the best outcome possible for Michael and your family. So there were things I didn't understand about the vehicle, so I asked them questions. And I apologize. I didn't know about a Facebook page or a YouTube page that I should have gone to for this information. I didn't know. So that's why I was asking. And, I only joined this community probably 2 months ago, maybe 3. Again, I don't have a great concept of time. So I just was hearing things, and I was like, we need to do this. And it came from a good place. Like, I wanted to do this. Like, what are we doing tomorrow? Because I feel like all these things that Mama Steph talked about, I don't disagree at all. I think she's right. But we talk about Texas, for instance. I could email Texas. I can email Abbott. I can email John Cornyn. That's not going to help Michael. So, and honestly, Texas, as so many things I could sit here bad to say about my state, the one thing they do good after being in this community, they actually do Amber Alerts good. I've learned that in the past 2 months, and I'm so happy and so grateful. So maybe when we take this next step about Amber Alert revisions and taking it on a national-wide campaign, we can look at the states that we have seen do them within 14 to 24 hours. But right now, I want to know that tomorrow, who am I emailing? Who am I calling? Because on these last 3 spaces, I've gotten a lot of really good information about the crap that they haven't done. And there's a list of facts I have now that can go to these people Because that woman needs to lose her job. That woman's boss, who was ruder to us than that blanket that blanket email that was just copied and pasted 100 times, that person needs to lose their job. We're not talking about Michael being gone for 2 weeks. We're talking 150 days or whatever. Okay, I'm just saying. So yes, I'm passionate about your child.
146.
Thank you. I'm passionate because I have a child. And just like Mama Steph said, the shit that we have uncovered is one of my reasons I was asking some of the questions I was asking about the cameras and when you follow the car and where did it go and where did it go. It wasn't about you or your husband or your children. It was because I don't trust law enforcement. I know of the cover-ups that go on. I have a lot of questions. And so when I was asking you, I wasn't asking you as in, why did you do this? I wanted to know why it hadn't been done for you. Because I'm mad. Because if that was my child, I would be screaming on the rooftops so that every freaking news station will come and try to find out what is this lunatic woman doing on the rooftop. Well, that's me, okay? I'm half Italian, half Irish. I would...
There you go.
I would be nuts. And also, to your strength, I don't know how you're at 140. See, I don't even forgot what you just told me. Because that strength that you have, I don't know that I would have it. Because I fear that I would just, after, because I go from Spitfire to, it's my baby, and only go through these ways. But that's like someone else said, that's why we want to be here to help you and support you, because some of the things that you might not think of, it just pops in our head. So I'm sorry I've gone on a tangent, but I just want you to know that I didn't ask the questions the other night about the cameras and what the officers told you, and did they pick up. It had nothing to do with you or your husband or Tyler or nothing. I was just thinking the cops.
And honestly,
the cops dropped the ball again. That's why I keep going to.
Well, I believe I remember speaking with you, and I did say, that I understand that, and I don't think it's all of them. I think they got what is it called? Blackball. I don't even. That's not even the right thing. They tried, and when people ask questions, I want everybody to understand this. When people ask questions, yeah, some of them hurt, and it's hard to talk about because it's been 146 days, and we miss our baby. We miss our son. So continuously talking about it is very hard. But honestly, we're not. When questions are asked, I'm more than willing. Tyler too. We're both. Yes, we will answer them. But
it's a difference between asking questions and being intrusive.
Yes.
Oh, and I just wanted to say that I understand that, and again, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest. When I was listening an hour ago and listening to the same questions that I heard on the Spaces last night, the Spaces a few days ago, I literally had the thought in my head, oh my gosh, how many times before people answer this question? And I just need you to know that because of this platform being the way it is, and it's not just a message board that you can just go like, it's not like someone put out a website about Michael that, okay, this is what happened and this is what's gone through. Like, if I take a day or two off of Twitter, I have missed so much, and I try my best to go back and look at every post because I don't want to be intrusive. But someone was asking something in Spaces the other day, and I was just like, this white car, which is you, when you said 647, I didn't know that, and then I was like, holy God, I want to know everybody who drives a white Pilot, and was it a rental vehicle, and what did the license plate say? And just like that girl earlier said, I blew that picture up, and I was like, I can see the license plate frame, but I can't see a license plate in there. And just all these things went through my head, and I'm just thinking as a mom, I can't imagine how exhausted you are, especially of other children. I'm a mother of an only child. I wanted to just help any way I could. So that's just what I want you to know.
One thing, thank you, and we appreciate that very much. But I will tell you that, trust me, when I say those thoughts that pop into your head, you know, hey, honey, I'm going for a walk. I'm gonna go. You know, I'm something. You know, popped into my head. I don't know how many times we've both walked and like just trying to figure out the timeline, figure out how we, Tyler and I, have spent hours and hours.
Well, I'm just going to leave you with this.
Just trying to walk that path.
Just know that you and your family are in my heart and in my prayers. And the reason I even started listening was because it came across my timeline again a couple weeks ago, and I was like, wait a minute. I saw this summer. Are you telling me this little boy is still missing? And, like, that's where I go back to the law enforcement. I'm like, this is crap, and why isn't this all over the news? And why is it went from, oh, my God, I remember this from this summer, to just coming up now again? Like, it doesn't stay in everybody's, you know, forefront. It disappeared off my timeline. I don't have a million.
Well, and that may have been that's probably my fault, because after watching just the small amount of media that we did do, Jesus, it just, I'm not lying. I'm not lying when I've seen every single comment, I've seen every single video, I've seen every single speculation. Tyler's been very good about not doing that, and
law enforcement's fault. It's law enforcement's fault. It's law enforcement's fault. It's not your fault. But I want to leave you with this. I can't imagine how exhausted you are, and I just wonder, because it's so hard to keep track of everything, and because you have to live your life because of your other children, have you given any thought to getting any help from getting your family an attorney to help you, or a private investigator to help you, to keep track of it all, so that you aren't the face of it all, and to help your mental health and everything? That's it. All my love to you.
Thank you. No, I never have thought about that, and I got this. We've got this.
Sorry.
No, sorry. Just my mental health. I don't think anybody speaking for me is a good idea, because they're not me. They're not Tyler. They're not Michael's parents. They're not Michael's family. So, yes, I do understand the mental health, and yes, I do have days where I have mental health days, and we've been going to counseling. We have a caseworker that, you know, was driving us to our counseling appointments. We have a group, Project Hope, that they helped set us up with emergency trauma services, ACT acts. That one. Like, we are, and on top of that, we have all of you. You know, we have very close friends and family, but I don't need maybe a secretary that can take down all my thoughts, because then if I can't, you know, write something down because I got my hands full, a secretary would work.
I'm the secretary. I got lots of notes. Nicole, to answer your question,
sorry.
You're fine. Everybody's reaching out to Amy Solomon tomorrow. She's an attorney general, and she's in charge of all AMPs, to my understanding. And she's in Washington, D.C., so everyone's reaching out for her. After the spaces, I will tweet out her information again. I know quite a few people have already tweeted out the information, but I will tweet it out again, and I'll tag you in it so that you can see it as well. Other Nicole, go ahead. You got your hand up.
So,
I'm sorry. Like, I laughed. I thought it was cute whenever she said about a PI, and then Brandy said, I got this. Like, I got this. And I took it to mean, like, this community. Like, this was what she reached out to, and she got it. So, but, you know, I just wanted to say that, you know, the other Nicole, there's too many of us, could have been more correct. You know, whenever, if I'm asking you questions, and I understand the whole, like, there's a difference between, like, questioning and being intrusive, but, like, the intrusive questions are usually the ones that are going to produce some type of something for us. And, like, for me, I'm connected in my own way, but I'm not connected in the same way that you and your family is connected, and your friends are connected. I'm connected in the sense that if you're looking at it objectively and can follow through on certain things that, like, you know, you as a mother and me as a mother, like, you want to automatically think, oh no, like, there's just no possible way I can't even think anything like that. But then, like, there's this whole community of people who can think that way for you. It's just a tremendous, I don't want to say burden, but hopefully you understand kind of what I'm saying. Like, your focus should be able to be your children and yourself and, you know, Tyler and you guys loving each other. And, like, I understand how this can be, you can get obsessive with this. And like I said, you know, she couldn't have been more correct in terms of, you know, we're not interrogating you, or I'm not, at least. I'm not interrogating you, but I'm aware that the questions that I ask you might make you uncomfortable. My intention is not to make you uncomfortable, to feel guilty or like you did something wrong or like you're a bad mother. It's that I want to figure out what happened so I can help you find your boy. So I know you know that I did, like, I would still be willing to talk to you. Like, I would rather speak to you in private, and would have asked my questions in private. I think it's much more intimate, and this could be more of like a supportive thing. But, like, I do want to ask you questions, and I understand that being on the spot is automatically we go to defend ourselves, and it's taken a certain way, and that doesn't benefit anybody, us trying to help you or you trying to find Michael. So I won't keep bothering you about it, and I'm going to quit asking questions. I'm going to take my ass to bed because it's 1 a.m. But just know that, like, I am available to you at any time. If you want to talk, it can be just you and I. It does not have to be this, you know, public, and whatever details you share with me, it is between you and I. But I'm here. If you want to use me, I'm here.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you. I don't want people to think that, you know, when I'm answering questions that I feel like constantly it's being interrogated. We've been interrogated for months. And sometimes it gets frustrating answering the same questions over and over again. And I understand about the not knowledge of different things. But there's a lot and processing a lot. And I just appreciate you and everyone that reaches out. And I try to be very careful about who I reach out to, because, you know, I'm sorry, you all are strangers.
I do not like you.
And you're becoming family.
Oh.
And like I said, I don't know how I'll ever be able to thank everyone enough. I appreciate the questions because it squashes speculation. So I am open to answer questions. And yes, they are uncomfortable. There are ones that are uncomfortable. There are ones that I tear up, and my chest feels like an elephant sitting on it, and my heart races into my ears. But I'll answer them. because what's important is everyone using their outside box thoughts, asking questions, and the focus is for Michael. So if all of that is put out of the way, and there's nothing there, which continues to show, and people are, putting it all together with us speaking, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So I'm not hooting and hollering at anybody, but there are some intrusive questions that, really, like, this has been answered 7 different ways, and you come with this question, like, this has been spoken about 7 different times, and here we are back at square one. That seems redundant to me. So that's when I get irritated.
Yeah, and I do understand that, and that's also another benefit of kind of talking one-on-one is that it's more relaxed. It's stressful, like, to be talking in a large group of people and you don't know who's listening, and, like, I get it, but that is also a benefit of talking one-on-one, is the fact that, at least for me, like, I know that whatever you give me permission to share, like, I will share it with the people that I speak with, and so you can forget about them asking the same questions. But, like, in terms of patience and your ability to maybe not get so upset, like I'm just going to be 100% honest, and everybody knows I mind my own business, and I don't get involved in all the crazy shit, but, like, I know that a lot of mothers, that you've connected with a lot of mothers and, like, people that just want to support you. And I am all for that, for the support that you have on here. But when we're in a group and we're trying to ask questions, and it becomes very confrontational because intentions are twisted, and, people want to defend you. I mean, and I get it entirely, but then it doesn't get our questions asked, and then we're still confused, and then someone's going to keep coming back and asking you the same things over and over again. Like, this for support is one thing, but I know that everybody knows that, like, us all, like, we all either have to be on the same team or not, and I would rather be on everybody's team and find them, than argue with people or make you feel like I'm attacking you or whatever. I don't want.
I think honestly, I've proven myself to the fact that I will answer those questions, and we've done a couple of spaces. I believe that I have handled those situations very well. So if everybody can't get along, I'll be kind. I'll be politely assertive. Is that the right word?
Well, basically, for me, if I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not so much you, like, I'm talking to you.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. Like, because we're in a space, other people will have their opinions and want to put their 2 cents in. Like, sorry, guys. But everybody has their opinion. And,
so that's the issue. Like, for me, is that you don't get to answer. You don't get to finish your thought.
Okay. Well, I've tried to do the best of that, and, well.
No, you did well. I'm just saying, I've learned much more on this phone call than I have in all of the press conferences that I've watched, all the YouTube videos. This has been very productive, and I appreciate Crystal for hosting it. Like, it's been a very productive space. I don't want anyone thinking that anybody's trying to be confrontational, and it's not so. I assure you, we just want to help.
I appreciate that very much. And, I'm still learning everything and how to navigate everything. And honestly, I don't trust anyone. So, I I can't trust the world. I can't trust the world right now. Like I said earlier, in my opinion, nobody has privacy until my son comes home. So if your home has to be searched 100 times, your home has to be searched 100 times. So that's where I am with that. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Is it Christine? You've had your hand up for a while. Go ahead.
It is Christine. So first of all, I don't usually speak on these, but I just wanted to say, one, you have a very beautiful son, Brandy. And I truly hope that, he comes home soon. I think that you do a very good job of, answering questions, talking to people. I can't honestly tell you I would be the same way, and I get it. I probably would trust absolutely no one. However, the one thing that I have wanted to say, in the last little bit is that, I know that somebody had said that, there's press conferences and all that stuff out there, and I'm sure most of the people in this spaces have probably either watched it or watched it 1,000 times. And I can tell you, anyone from Nerdy's community, they probably have watched it and analyzed every second of every minute of those videos or everything that's came out. And back to Sarah, I feel bad because I truly believe that she was really just trying to help, but I was on Spaces for a case that was unrelated and actually totally, a waste of their time. And with all of her heart, I listened to her tell the people that wasted her time that it broke her heart because she could have been spending that time looking for your son, and it was meant with all of great intentions. So maybe it came across the wrong way, but she really sat there and said, that she was upset in that case of them wasting valuable resources when it could have been spent looking for Monkey, and it really broke her heart. So I just wanted to say that because, I really believe that it came from a good place and she was just trying to help.
Thank you for that. Sporty, go ahead.
Hi, Brandy. Hi, Crystal. Hi, everybody. Hello. I have a couple of things to say. The first one is that, from my opinion, because I've been off Twitter the last 2 days as I was traveling to my vacation spot, and now I'm settled in, so I can refocus on it. But it seems, from my perspective, that a lot of people are as to why these questions are being asked. But that's to say that, in no way, shape, or form should you ever receive blame or harassments or threats or insinuations that your family has done anything wrong, Randy, and I've said that to you privately. So I just want to reiterate that I'm not saying everybody has their best intentions on this group. I can't speak for everybody, but I do know that most of us do, and I care about your 4 kids and your husband and yourself, not just Monkey, because I believe this is holistic. I believe this is a village that is finding a child that belongs to a family, not just a child that belongs to mama.
I'm just trying to put things together as I'm getting them, and I'm trying to wrap my head around like why so many questions are being asked all the time. So my suggestion in that sense is to direct people to both of these spaces so that you don't have to say it again. Even though you had previously said it, people miss the spaces because a lot of the time they're very late at night.
And I'm sorry about that, but I have to put babies to bed, and I can't actually have a conversation.
No, totally not on you. I'm just saying that this is why, and like sometimes people are busy on Friday nights, but not Sunday nights, so things like that. And I wasn't aware until like recently that there had been a Spaces last night. So I haven't obviously listened to it because I don't need to. Because you and I have talked and I have heard your side of the story, and there's nothing that I'm scrutinize or anything, because that's also not my role. I'm not here to sleuth, and everyone is different here into what their like capacities are and what our strengths are, and to me that's not that. However, this brings me to my next 2 points. The first one was about your email to the Attorney General, I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Or to everyone. I'm going to send one to everyone.
Yeah, so feel free to run that by me if you want it proofread. Advocacy, like you and I have spoken about how advocacy is what I do. I'm very used to writing those legal letters that usually end up in judges' hands. I'm not saying I'm the best at it, but I'm saying I can absolutely.
You're probably way better than me at it.
No, because
instead of me sitting down on a keyboard and trying to type out my emotions and type out facts.
It's hard because it's going to be different than if a lawyer were to read it over. Someone that has to be more technical and more legal in their terms. As an advocate, I have a lot of leeway in using a little bit more of an emotional adjectives, if you were, to say that in a letter, which is I think exactly what you should come across as, not as a legal letter, but more as of a very direct, matter of fact, yet with so much passion underneath it, but that not enough, and this is a very big piece of what I do, not enough that it makes you sound emotionally unstable. Because the moment an attorney general or a judge or anyone like that sees you as emotionally unstable, you lose credibility as a mom, which is stupid and ridiculous because obviously you're not emotionally, we would all be worried if you were. But when it comes to those letters, I absolutely would be honored to help you in those or to even read them over. My third point that I wanted to bring back to those, I can't remember who said about and what do we do tomorrow? You and I and a few others, I can't remember who was on that Spaces, we're talking about billboards and reaching out to private billboard companies. I don't know if, you remember that. So I think that's something, for those of us that feel so ridiculously powerless about this situation right now, that have nonstop email, nonstop call, I think that should not stop, but we can also work towards something a little bit more productive in the sense that we can get results.
Honey, what can you come? I can't repeat all what you just said. I don't want to. So, Sissy, Chrissy, Tyler's sister.
What's going on?
Okay. And we were going to figure out what it would be to do nationally. That's right. Right. So Tyler's sister had a coworker that sponsored and got 15 billboards in the valley.
Nice.
a little bit farther, and they were only supposed to run from. They did run till November, but they were only supposed to run from September to middle of October, and they ran until the end of November. And
Great.
So she was going to talk to that gal that did it because Tyler says we were trying to figure out the billboards, but she got this company or a few companies to do it pro bono.
Wow.
And then I think she paid for a couple actually too, if I remember correctly. She paid for a couple.
Mm-hmm. So that's something we can definitely do. Like, maybe if with your permission, like, I would love to reach out to Tyler's sister and get that coordinated, see the locations of them. I think, in my opinion, you need the most eyes on the billboards, right? So if you get a pro bono one in the middle of nowhere where no one's going to see it, that's great. But let's also focus on the ones on the highways is my suggestion, right?
All of those digital ones that were done were off ramps, highways.
Okay, that's amazing. And I would love to, like, what if we got 2 pro bono companies so that instead of 15, there's 25 or like whatever.
Yes.
Maybe.
Or if we'll figure out the cost.
Exactly. And then we can, this community is so generous when it comes to GoFundMe's. We've done $10 challenges in the past where we all pitch in $10 and it's crazy how it adds up. I want to offer that to your family as well because I know so many of us are feeling so powerless because we just want to go yell at the state police, and obviously we're far away, we can't do that. And if they don't pick up the phone, there's no way for us to do that. They can delete our emails. Like, it's just a very frustrating situation, and I can't even imagine for you. But for those of us that are trying to kind of challenge that anger into something positive, I want to make myself available to Tyler's sister to be able to coordinate that and kind of take that off both of your plates, but kind of still working with your family if that is something your family wants.
We'll definitely talk to her and figure it out. The person that I already wrote it down in my book, so I've been taking bullet points tonight, guys.
Don't worry, me too. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say, and because I don't have any questions for you guys, I think you guys have been amazing at everything you're trying to share. I think because of so much anger that we have towards the lack of action of police at all levels, I think there may be some projection happening onto you because you're the only one that's actually available to listen and wants to come clear and come forward. So many people may be doing that, possibly inadvertently, maybe the few assholes that are doing it on purpose. But I just want to say that I'm so honored to be here and having your story, like a monkey story, in my heart and my life. It's been a really profound couple of weeks for me since I found out about the case. So I just want to let you know that for the letter, for the billboards, I'm totally here for you. And if anyone wants to, once we get the all clear, then maybe from your family about the billboards, I will try and work with some people on the community here that want to kind of create a working group just specifically for the billboards so that we can take that off your plate.
I can't thank you enough, Sporty. You've been very kind, and definitely, yes, Tyler says he's going to talk to his sister, and
that would be amazing. If she has Twitter, that is honestly the easiest way, not just for me, but because so many of us are on here, and it could be very easy to create a group chat.
Yeah.
But it's okay if she doesn't, and she just wants to do it over email or whatever the case may be. totally whatever your family is comfortable with.
We'll have to talk to her, and I don't know if she has Twitter. She's, the same age as me. We were born on the same day in the same year. It's like, so
that's awesome.
She's got her hands full with her new fur baby. He's almost, about 6 months old now, 7 months old.
Yeah.
So
and please send my love to Kira, to Ben, and to Aria. They're in my heart too. It's not just Monkey. To me, it's the family.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. I really appreciate that.
Okay, well, I'll remove myself so that someone else can say something. But thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being so open with all of us.
Susie, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
Thanks, Crystal. Hi, Brandy. I just wanted to build off what Sporty said. I do think that a lot of folks are just now getting interested in what Jennifer Coffindoffer's called the nitty gritty of Monkey's case, and so that a lot of these questions are so folks can wrap their heads around it. And so what good came out of today, if we want to focus on what good came out of today, which is the way I like to end the night, is that a timeline has been started, and Shayna started that and built off of what Crystal started on a beautiful notebook piece of paper. And on that timeline, I don't know if you all noticed that Shayna put a third tab that has the elected officials' contact information. There's a second tab of what you can do to help. There's a first tab that has the day of. And right now, maybe, there are other things being added, such as the sort of overview that Legacy posted a while ago, like back in November, of like all the things you need to know about this case before you start asking questions. And so maybe those get added to the timeline. Maybe all of the Fruitland PD announcements get added to the timeline. I just went in, I held my nose on Facebook, I screenshot all that shit, and I put it in a thread that Legacy just retweeted. So like now nobody has to go to Facebook if they don't want to and read through all those announcements in order, because there's a lot of little nuggets in there, and certainly gave me some faith in the Fruitland Police Department to read them in detail, because they have been busy. But so now, in addition to encouraging people to listen to the spaces, which not everybody's going to do, because they're 2 hours long, 3 hours long. Sometimes people have hard time processing auditorily. Sometimes it's better to read it. So you can send them to the timeline. And then, ask somebody like Crystal, ask somebody like Shayna. If you can get Shelby, the timeline lord, involved, oh my God, Rose can tell you all about her skills. But there are so many people here who can hold on to the nitty gritty for you, so that you can be the face and you can be getting Monkey's image in front of the State House. And then the details can be outsourced, literally onto this Google sheet. So I'd be happy to be helpful with that. And I know there are a ton of other people on this call that would love to do that. Sarah made an amazing timeline for, now I can't remember the name. Someone will jump in and tell me. But anyway, I talk too much. I just want to say, we're with you. We've got you. Let us know how we can help you.
Sorry. No, not you. God damn it. I'm sorry. Sorry. Tyler just showed me something and then it triggered me. I apologize. I did not. Oh, heavens. Susie, right? That was amazing. Yes. The timeline and what Crystal did this morning, she ran by me and on that beautiful piece of paper, and then Shayna, did I say that right? Put that spreadsheet together, and I went through it, and that's amazing. And I think that needs to be pushed out there, because you're right. A lot of people are just now learning about Michael's case. There's not been information out there. There has been press conferences, and a lot of people don't like to go to Facebook, or they don't want to sit on these, because I like to talk hours long sessions. But to have that information compiled out there so people, can look over it without having to listen for 3 hours. They have it factual right in front of their face. And they can, click on those different things. I that was absolutely very impressive. Like, the work that was done this morning while I was at work was absolutely insane. And when I got home from work and going through it today, and I think that is, to push that out there is probably going to be very, very helpful. And I can't thank you all enough for doing that.
Thank you for watching. Comment your thoughts and questions below. Justice for Michael Vaughan.